Dean Westendorf here again. I thought I'd share something from my chapter, The Law of the Gospel. This is an interesting concept, and in that book I discussed the law of the telestial, the law of the terrestrial, and the law of the celestial. But today I'm going to talk about just the law of the telestial. Bruce R. McConkie said this: telestial law is the law of evil, carnality, and corruption. End quote. So basically it's a law of selfishness. This is the state in which the natural man lives and dies. Unfortunately, far too many live in this state. Even those who have been taught better seem to resort to this behavior all too often. I remember something my seminary teacher taught us about this decades ago. He said the standards of the saints seem to follow the standards of the world. Even though the saints lag behind the world in worldliness, they still seem to follow the worldly trends, unquote. I remember thinking that as he shared this, that he was inaccurate, that this could not be true, that this is not right. Yet after 5 decades, I've realized that he was right. To clarify his points, he used his hands, but I'm going to show you a graph that I drew to clarify this. So down here we see the holy line, God's will line, so to speak. This here is the worldliness, and it keeps going up. This is how the world behaves. Their worldliness factor keeps getting worse. You notice here that this is the saint line. The saints start at the holy line, or at God's will line, but they tend to then keep getting more worldly. What's interesting is that we tend to judge our behavior based on the standards of the world instead of the celestial standard. For example, we say things like, everyone does it, so it must be okay. Or, I'm doing better than the world, so I must be doing good enough. As a result of this thinking, however, the saints' worldliness will mirror the worldliness of the world, but lag behind in time. So if we're going to live the law of the gospel, we must be willing to cast off the world and hold firmly to Christ. We must be willing to live by celestial law.